Hello students, and welcome to the CompTIA A+ 1201 exam course brought to you by Third Level Technology. I am your instructor, Jim Herbie. In this episode, we're going to conclude Module 1 covering mobile devices. We will discuss Section 1.3 in the exam objectives. Our topic is network and device configurations. Let's begin. We will start our discussion by going through the different generations of cellular technology. When we first began to have mobile phones, the technology only allowed for voice calling, and that was first generation. Our second generation, or 2G, introduced the capability for text messaging. Our modern smartphones that we know began to be integrated with 3G, or third generation cellular technology. With 3G cellular networks, we introduced the ability for our cellular phones to begin accessing the internet. Our 3G phones began having web browsing capability, email, and the ability to download applications. Our 3G cellular networks also introduced video calling. We now had the ability to have video conversations with people over our phones. Our 3G cellular networks are still used in our rural areas as the backup standard for our more modern networks. With 4G and 5G networks, which we'll discuss here in a moment, if those go down for some reason, we still use 3G as the backup because it still has voice and video connectivity. 4G, or fourth generation cellular networks, are where we expanded our smartphones to have high definition video streaming. With 4G cellular networks, we also introduced LTE, long-term evolution. This is a standard that has very strong encryption standards, as well as very low latency for downloading. LTE has very strong verification measures so that when we download applications from app stores, we have very low latency in the time it takes to download. 4G cellular also allows for an expanded use of our bandwidth. We have a greater ability to do slicing of the available bandwidth to individual users, which increases the total amount of users we can have on the network at one time. Our most modern cellular network is 5G, fifth generation. 5G is become the standard smartphone mobile network for cellular technology, not only in the United States, North America, but globally. With 5G, we have the fastest download speeds and lowest latency, have expanded it into more modern use cases. 5G networks are used in our autonomous vehicles. If you've ever seen any self-driving vehicles from Tesla or any other manufacturer, they use 5G cellular connectivity. 5G is also used in your real-time gaming and streaming, as well as virtual reality, or VR. Next, we're going to discuss hotspots. A hotspot is when one cellular device allows other nearby mobile devices to share its data connection. With hotspots, we can have multiple users accessing the internet using the original host device's data plan and connection. Think of a hotspot as a portable router. You will consume your battery power pretty quickly, and all of the user's aggregate data consumption will count towards your data plan cap, and any additional data overages may result in additional financial charges to you. Next, we want to discuss the elements of a Wi-Fi network. Wi-Fi is the standard we use to describe wireless local area network connectivity. Wireless local area networks, or WLANs, are the network configurations we use in our enterprise environments to allow mobile devices to connect. Your Wi-Fi networks will use either the 2.4 or the 5 gigahertz frequencies. And within each frequency, you have specific channels that can be defined for different types of use. Wi-Fi networks will require a router connection. This means you have to have some type of cable modem and a connection to an outside internet source. Your Wi-Fi networks will be encrypted and will use WPA, Wi-Fi Protected Access, both version 2 and 3. Next, we're going to discuss SIM and eSIM. SIM, S-I-M, stands for Subscriber Identity Module. A SIM card is the way that we stored our mobile network credentials in our smartphones. It allowed us to store our individual personal data, as well as our authentication credentials and information we need to access our service provider's internet. Your SIM cards were modular. What that means is you could take them from one smartphone to another, and that was how you could transfer all of your personal data and settings. In our modern smartphones, the SIM card has been largely replaced by eSIM, Electronic Subscriber Identity Module. eSIM is a digital version of your SIM settings that allow us to remove the physical chip card from the device, and it is stored directly on the device's settings. Both SIM and eSIM will enable all of your network features once they have been properly authenticated to the device. Next, we're going to discuss Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a short-range wireless network technology. It's commonly used to connect peripheral devices to our laptops or to pair two different devices together to establish secure connections. An example of connecting a peripheral would be using a wireless mouse or a wireless headset with your laptop device. With Bluetooth pairing, an example would be using your smartphone to connect to a Bluetooth speaker externally to play music. Bluetooth uses the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. The Bluetooth signal range has about a 10-meter perimeter, that's about 30 feet. And Bluetooth will use all of your standard encryption for your mobile devices to make sure that all of the data being sent is secure. The way that we pair our devices with Bluetooth is one device must be the host. This will be the device that will authenticate the other. The pairing device will require us to enter in either a passcode or a PIN number so that the two devices can connect. Once they have done so, we can allow those two devices to automatically recognize each other when they are within range and have their Bluetooth connection enabled. Next, we want to discuss GPS, your Global Positioning System. GPS is a locator and navigation system we use on our smartphones that relies on satellites to identify precise locations and movements. If you ever use any type of mapping service for directions, you're using GPS. GPS is also used for pinpoint triangulation. This is where we can identify the specific location of a person or device. People that may become lost in rural locations, and also to identify lost or stolen objects. We use GPS also in many of our modern applications, such as rideshare services, such as Uber and Lyft, DoorDash, our mapping applications, and our fitness trackers. Next is Mobile Device Management, MDM. MDM is how we allow our administrators to manage all of the mobile devices within our enterprise environment. With MDM, we can have one software interface that allows our IT administrative staff to manage all of the firewall rules, installation of applications, and security policies for all of the users and their mobile devices. With MDM, we also can remotely wipe data. If we have a user's device that is lost or stolen, with MDM, we can remotely wipe the data so that it prevents any attacker from accessing any sensitive information. Within our mobile device management, one policy we can use is BYOD, bring your own device. Bring your own device is allowing our employees and staff to use their personal devices for job-related tasks. In a bring your own device configuration, we use MDM to create the structure that's needed to separate all of our corporate and sensitive data that is stored on the staff-owned device from the user's personal data that they use in their everyday life. With bring your own device, you have to remember that the employee owns the device. So your MDM is crucial to make sure that you have that proper separation in preventing unauthorized access to sensitive material. Next, we're going to discuss data caps. A data cap is a limit on the amount of data a user can transfer in a single billing cycle. Your data caps are typically monthly, and when you exceed your data cap, it will result in your network connectivity having slower speeds. You also may incur additional financial charges. We call these overages if you go above the data cap and your contract charges those. You want to set up your smartphones and mobile devices to have usage alerts. This is where we get notifications about data caps related to specific internet access, text messaging, application usage, or whatever other type of metric we define. With our mobile devices, we also can use synchronization. Synchronization is where one user can access their personal data on multiple devices. Your synchronization will include emails, personal contacts, calendars, photos, and other things that we include within our settings. If you're using a cloud network, these services will update in real time across all of your devices. Examples of device synchronization include Google Drive and Microsoft OneDrive. And lastly, we will discuss business applications. Business application is a catch-all term we use to describe cloud-based software tools. It allows our users to access certain apps over an internet connection. Many vendors will require our users to authenticate. If you're using Microsoft 365 or Google Drive, a user will authenticate with their email, username, and password. Examples of business applications include word processing, such as Microsoft Word and Google Docs, presentation software, such as PowerPoint and Google Slides, and spreadsheets, which include Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. That will conclude our discussion of Section 1.3 Mobile Device Network Configurations, as well as Module 1. In our next episode, we will move on to Module 2, which covers networking, and in Section 2.1, we will discuss common ports and protocols for TCP and UDP. We thank you again for following along in the episodes in the course, and wish you best of luck in your studies. Enjoy the rest of your day.